Welcome back, YouTube. Well, I finally got all my Tomcats done. We got the AMK, Tamiya, Hobby Boss, and the old Hasegawa. I'm going to do a final thoughts, I guess you would call it. I'm going to do 2 at a time because I just don't have enough room on my bench to actually put all 4 of them. But I thought I'd show you what they look like all together. Very happy with the way they came out. And we'll talk about what kit is best. And it might depend on what kit is best for you. Whether it be budget, detail, or ease of build. Alright, here's the first comparison between the first two. We've got the Hasegawa on the right and the Hobby Boss on the left. The Hasegawa kit started out as a buddy's kit that got passed on, a man that passed away, and another gentleman from my club said he was probably never going to build it, so I jumped at the opportunity because, as you can tell, I love Tomcats. I'd have to be a Tomcat lover to do 4 of them at a time. So there were these really cool decals in the box, and the gentleman who had it prior had purchased these Verlinden seats. So this is technically a B, even though the kit was a D. So it does not have the plate around here. Hopefully I got the right gun vents from the pictures. I believe I have the correct nose section. And as you can see, the intakes drove me crazy, so I ended up putting canvas over them. And the, the standard Hasegawa fit of that seam right there. I did the best I could. It's not perfect, but it does build into a nice kit when you're all done. This I used the clear parts, and I shouldn't have on the next models. I actually used UV glue. If you haven't used UV glue, I highly recommend it. I'll show you how it looks on the other kits. But yeah, these were just a set of really cool decals all around here. All the panel lines need to be rescribed. The engine actually looks pretty good in this kit. There you go. Didn't get crazy on the detail in there, just did a little bit of dirty in. All the finishes on the kit were flat coated, and then I took polishing sticks and polished them. So that's why you see that slight sheen. Trying to get rid of that decal film, which looks like I didn't do too good of a job on that one. But again, this was my test. And then all I used for weathering on all of these were the initial panel line wash in black. Then after flat coat and polishing, I used the same black panel line wash along with the brown panel line wash to dirty it up. So that is the Hasegawa one. I used the standard rubber tires. The kit that this had also had all of the resin extras that I added to this one, which was suiting because Hobby Boss's panels are known for not closing all that good. So, for example, these panels do not close. From what I'd seen on other builds, they don't close with the crap. These don't close with the crap. This I cut out, and then this is the metal piece that came from Verlinden. So I thought it fitting to, we might as well do one all out. This is the most plain, no pun intended, the most plain paint scheme. But again, always wanted to do this paint scheme. It was the Black Lions, I think it was. Black Lions. There was a gentleman that did a Tamiya 32nd scale in this plane way back when, and he did a fantastic job. Hobby Boss's Cockpit. Looks like a cockpit, but it's actually very generic. So, and all the seats had paper seatbelt added to them. So all in all, not a bad kit. It's got some shape issues though. I don't know why my focus is not working all that good. And then this bad boy was the last one I did. Yeah, that's the dog. Oh, we have dogs. This is the last one I did, so it came out much dirtier than that one. And then this one will have a little engine dolly. So this will be coming out. So pretty cool. Oh, somebody must be here. The doorbells are going off. And then another open bay. And then I'm going to flip them both over, and you can see the undercarriage. When it comes to build, this one is seamed back here, which was a much better option than the Hasegawa, as you can see. This has a slightly larger gap. The hump on this kit seems a little too wide, but by the time you paint it, it looks pretty good. So those are those two. So I'll flip them over and you can see the underside. All of the tips, I think that one looks bent slightly. They're all metal. The metal versions. So I'll pause and we can look at the bottom side. Alright, here's the underside. The right side is the Hasegawa kit. And detail is all there, but very basic. You can see I really dirtied this bad boy up. That is Tamiya's Tarps. These are all magnetic. And this Tarps is the best one out of all the kits. This one is just plain badass. The AMK one isn't even as good as this. It doesn't have the clear camera so you can see through it. Some of the details on the AMK ones are better, but you know, that makes it right there. So that's that. If I can get that back in the right position. So I started out with magnets on everything, and then I got tired of it. So this one has magnets for everything. All these are magnetic. So if I want to transport it, I'll just pull them off. These are an extra set of Tamiya landing gear because the used kit that I got were busted. So I robbed them off of an A that I have that I'm going to do in flight anyway. So whatever. And then these are not the Hasegawa missiles. Obviously, these are AMK missiles because the Hasegawa doesn't come with anything. So wheel bay looks okay. It's pretty plain. I didn't get crazy on the painting of it because, well, this was my least favorite one. So super dirty. And then even dirtier, we got the Hobby Boss. Wheel bays are okay. I opted for, these are all, I believe these are all the actual Hobby Boss missiles. Since this is the last kit I did, these are glued. Are these glued? Yeah, these are glued. Everything's glued. Since it had so much stuff going on, and probably, I don't know if I'll ever transport this one, because, I mean, look at all the stuff that's going to bust off of it. The machine guns and ammos are a combination of Verlinden kit and the actual Hobby Boss kit. Since this is the first kit, I can show you the intakes on. I know everybody complains about the intakes on the Hobby Boss. Let's see if I can get it. Looks like you actually, oh, you can't see. You can see light through that one because it goes all the way through. Oh, and then the UV. Remember I was talking to you guys about UV glue? That's UV glue on both sides. I didn't use any clear lenses. Actually came out better than that one, which those ones are clear lenses and they look like crap. So intakes, shaping issues. Hey, no shaping issues there because there's no intake. Do a quick upper view of it all. And then the engines on the Hobby Boss, I admit I actually screwed them up. And you can't see it, which is good. When I glued them together, I glued them separate. Hobby Boss would have you glue the inside pedals to here, and then these go on after. Well, I wanted it more traditional, so I wanted to put that in later. So when I glued it together, I didn't glue it together right, but it all worked out. So, and then of course these are all those aftermarket decals for the bombs and missiles, and combination with what AMK had. So yeah, there's those two. All right. Now we have what everybody's been waiting for. The showdown between the Tamiya f-14d and the AMK f-14d. First, before we get into it, just enjoy some pictures of the final product. These are both beautiful kits. Depending on what kind of modeler you are, will absolutely depend on which kit you pick. These two have a little less weathering than the prior. They are definitely the two most accurate versions of a Tomcat D that you can get. In some ways, the AMK kit has some areas where it's easier to build than the Tamiya, and in some ways, not as easy to build. Definitely the cockpit, in my mind, on the AMK is light years ahead of the Tamiya. Both of them have a really good way of getting a canopy on. Unfortunately, with the AMK, as it is with almost everything on the AMK, once you pick the way you're going to display it, you're not going to move anything. So it is not a toy. Despite what I tried to do, which I'll explain here in a second, you see an extra set of wings there. These wings will come off. I've seen another modeler do it where the wings swing. I went another step further and I thought I could do it where I could interchange wings, which I could, but it's very difficult. If only somebody could do a hybrid version of both the Tamiya and the AMK, that would be an incredible kit. In 30-second. Hint, hint. Tamiya or AMK. I predict one of those two companies will come out with a 32nd in a D, not in an A. And again, both these kits, all four of these kits were clear coated with flat. And then I always wanted to capture that glare, that semi-gloss satin. So after flat coating it, it basically has been polished, which in turn left flatter edges on the inside. And then when I went to do the wash, you can see that the areas that stayed flat, it's almost impossible to clean the dirt out of, much like the actual plane. So let's talk about the wings real quick. The wings on the Tamiya are movable, which is fantastic. It's a little tough with one hand though. It does come with extra bladder bags. I'm not even going to bother. The very nice thing about this kit, so if I can do it without breaking it, is how easy the wings come out, as I can't get them out. But they do easily come out, and they easily swing. So these wings are not glued. They're not glued shut, they're not glued closed, and they're not glued to the point where I could take them off for transportation. Not that I'm gonna. I don't know who would. So there she is. Another cool feature about this Tamiya kit is the fact that you can pose the canopy open, or you can pose it closed, and it fits darn near perfect. This kit, it's open or close. You're not getting both. Is the canopy more detailed? Yes, it is. Is the rest of the finish more detailed? Yes, it is. Is the detail on the Tamiya crappy? Absolutely not. The fuel door is probably more accurate than that one, as many people have pointed out. So initially, when looking at the plastic, the panel line detail on the AMK looked thick, and on the Tamiya looked actually too thin, barely noticeable. But as you can see, after you're done with the panel line wash, they both look pretty good. I have a tendency to go on the thick side, so I actually prefer it, especially preferred it in the MiG, the AMK MiG. Shape-wise, both these kits are in good shape. They both capture the Tomcat look. The intakes are both gorgeous. The fit on the Tamiya intake is actually better. However, the fit on the AMK intake is actually not too shabby. The weakest part of this kit is absolutely this area here. There should be 3 more hatches there, and I had to destroy that detail and add quite a bit of putty because there was a huge step there. So instead of rescribing all that tiny detail, I just dealt with it and left it out on both sides. I don't know if it was the way that I built the kit, and as you can see, I got a gouge in it. So I'm just going to say that's a gouge from a crewman denting something. I don't know if this was for me building it, but I know I've seen other people have that issue. Here, let's move this over so I bang it up. Poor man's turntable. Obviously, you can't get this on the Tamiya Kit, not without spending a considerable amount more money. So for the bucks, best bang for the buck is the AMK. You are going to have some build issues. I still don't like the way this area attaches separately. Kind of like reminiscent of the old Hasegawa kit. I don't like that. Intake, or the exhaust, sorry. The exhaust detail on this kit is far better, to the point where you almost don't even need to have an aftermarket on the Tamiya, just to do a direct comparison. I really dirty these up, but as you can see, it is there's no detail in there. In comparison, there's nothing. There's no pedal detail at all. Obviously, you don't have the air brake up. You don't have the spoilers and foilers, the flaps. This is a really odd thing on this kit. There is no line here like there is on the Hasegawa. For lack of reference, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or if there's supposed to be an inset. But for some reason, that really bugged me. So initially, I did make these wings swing. So if I pull these out, I could put an extra set of wings in there. So I tried to replicate both wings in the same detail. These do come out if I needed to. I could put the other bladders in and push the wings back. But man, they do not come in and out as nice as the Tamiya Kit, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to leave them open. So, if you want the best kit, the easiest kit to build, this is it right here. Before I flip them over, I just realized I took the canopies off. You want a good shot of the cockpit detail. AMK, sorry it's dusty. I've had these two done for a while. AMK and Tamiya. The Tamiya detail's not bad. It's just not that. And those are the decals. I know everybody's going to harass me for using decals, but y'all know you'll be using Tinta decals on the next kit anyway, so what's the difference? We got the Tamiya 148 Tomcat D on the right and the AMK on the left. You got to give props to Tamiya for everybody nowadays doing a full one-piece intake. They can pull it off with 3 pieces. That's one piece. There's a center section, 2 pieces, and the rear section, which is part of the main fuselage. So 3 sections, beautifully done intakes. If I can get in there and focus. Beautifully done intakes. Not really much of a step at all. Super dirtied up. Everything fits like a glove. There are compromises though. I want you to see this. Wheelbase look nice. Landing gear look nice. Tires look, yeah, wheels and tires look okay. I'll get back to that. Same with this. Wheel bay looks nice. Looks like I didn't clean some of the wash off all the way. Landing gear look pretty good. Wheels and tires look good. Accurate. but not detailed. AMKs. Now, give this. These are not the AMK tires and wheels. The AMK wheels and tires on this kit and on the MiG sucked. They were so bad, I had to buy some resin. So these are Edward wheels and tires, and they are gorgeous. Yeah, landing gear, way better. Gear bay, insane amount of detail on all around. Look at all that. Gorgeous. Gear doors, though. Gear doors on this AMK suck. Gear doors on this Tamiya kit are awesome. So much better than what we used to get. No problem fitting them. You know where they're going. Same with this. Gear doors sucked. Actually super disappointed that there are ejector pins on these doors. And I know everybody says it when they get it out of the box. I can't believe there's ejector pins on the inside of that door. Yeah, they are. You know how hard it is to see them, though? Never thought about that until now. But look at the gear bay detail. It's insane. Look at the landing gear detail. It's insane. And I had to put a crappy wheel and tire on that? No. That fits much better. That's the Edward Brasson. Gorgeous wheel and tire. Now it matches. So AMK, get on your wheels and tires, because they're crap. So this leaves the final question. Which is the best F-14 Tomcat D in 48 scale? It's not going to be a simple answer. Is it the old hasegawa kit that you can get with full flaps out, post ready to take off from an aircraft carrier, or all closed up on the carrier deck? Is this the best kit? No. Don't buy this kit. Not unless you have it in your stash from 20 years ago and you're only ever going to build one and you want to pull your hair out building it. You will get a nice Tomcat. Don't get me wrong. This looks nice. This is actually my wife's favorite. But it was a pain in the ass. If you want an F-14D with all the options that you can get, don't buy this kit. Buy this kit. Buy a Hobby Boss. It's going to fit better. It's going to be less headaches. Yeah, the intakes may not look perfect. Yeah, it's got some issues with overdone rivet detail. But as you can see, when you're all done, it looks like a nice kit. If you're not a rivet counter, then that's fine. Buy this one. What about the Tamiya kit? Is it the best F-14D? Or is the AMK? Well, if you had to ask me which was the more accurate and best bang for the buck, I would tell you the AMK kit. If you had to ask me which one fits the best, which one's going to get me to paint the best, the fastest, it'd be the Tamiya kit. I loved both of these kits. I loved both of these so much I finished them almost before the other ones. The AMK kit comes with an insane amount of ordnance, and the ordnance in that kit is worth just buying the kit for. It's almost worth buying the kit just to have the ordnance for a Tamiya kit. and the decals for a Tamiya kit. Funny thing is, I use Tamiya decals on both these kits because I like the markings so much. That's how Tamiya sells so many kits. They have phenomenal engineering. They pick great subjects, and they come out with great color schemes. I just wish their decals weren't hunks of shit. But they look good when they're done. So would I buy this one again? Absolutely. Did I? No, I bought one of those. And why? Because I want to do a Top Gun F-14A. And AMK doesn't have one yet. And I want to get to build fast. Don't get me wrong. Those flaps look cool. But man, they were a pain in the ass. And those landing gear look cool. But man, they were a pain in the ass. And those missiles look cool. But actually, the Tamiya missiles actually look pretty damn good. In the perfect world, I could get this kit with these options. But I can't. So if you're someone who wants the best detailed f-14d, just know there are a couple fit issues with this kit, mainly right here. Buy this one. If you love doing missiles and bombs, go for it. I'm totally over it. I did 80 bombs and missiles for all 4 kits combined. I have a pile of bombs and missiles that I will probably never use. If you want a kit that goes together good, perfect, shake glue in a box, get to paint, have awesome detail, and be impressed every second of the build, buy this kit. You're probably going to want to buy some cockpit detail, but buy this kit. It has enough missiles and bombs and fuel tanks, etc. that you need for the kit. This one actually has too many. They could have saved some money and just not given you as much ordnance. So that's my take on it. Both great kits. Which one would I buy again? The Tamiya.